Hey, what's up guys, it's T-Bone here and welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So this is the third day now of the event, Oasis of Ruin, and I wanted to cover the Mystic cards that came out, which I covered in the last episode. Specifically, I'm going to cover the two cards, Ophra as well as Haroun, the support card and the event card. Now you can see I've actually got three of them here. That was through pure luck. I got two of those event cards by tier 4 of the deck here. You can see I got it in tier 4, and then I also got him in a collection. And so what I did was I invested in a second support card, and I got a relic here. So this is the team I have here, and it works really well. Now, of course, I don't expect everyone to be able to get this type of luck with the pack. So I actually have a second deck that I think I'm going to run, which is a lot more realistic, and that is 2 support cards and hopefully an event card and 2 group Hatchy Sept. So this is a deck that I'm going to be using for the Terror Boss. So we're going to cover the Terror Boss as well, and I'm going to showcase how this deck works in an internal boss. So let's go into the fight here. So before we do that, take a look at my list of bosses here. So I'm not sure if you experience the same thing here, but you see the silver bosses here, they're actually very rare compared to the other types of bosses we see. So you can see we've got 2 Eternal Ketas, and I got a bunch of worlds here, and then an Infernal Keta, and a bunch of really big bosses. So it's been really challenging to keep up all of them, but at the same time, it's very different, and I enjoyed it personally. You can see I only have 5 solo keys here, so I do need to get on my guild bosses. So let's go into an internal boss here using the Mystic team. So if you take a look at the relics here, I'm actually really short on Mystic relic. And so I have these Exultant Sabers. These are easy to level up, get them to 6 stars, and you can at least boost all heroes by, you can see here, level 8, 700. And so before, these class-specific relics came about, these were the type of relics that were very useful, and they still are today, especially given that there's a lack of overall relic. And the other one I put in here also helps me with recovery, so this just kind of gives me a little bit more survivability. All right, and so let's go in and do a fight here. So this is an internal boss, so that means we're going to have a 60-second play clock here. So bear with me for a second. I'm going to play through a little bit, just kind of show you how this works. Now, I only have 1 relic, and 2 of my support cards will give me 5 intensity each, so I'm building up about 15 every turn. And the goal here is to get it into multiples of 100, because at 100 intensity, you're going to be able to get additional power gems through Haroun, and also if you look, you're going to provide additional grains of soul to your additional heroes for every 100 stacks of intensity. And so with this particular setup, what I'm doing here is just making matches, and every time you attack, that's the nice thing about the support card here, is that every time you attack, you're actually generating earth gems, so you're never going to run out of gems to match to do attack. And now you can see I'm at 105, so this is the order you want to do things. First, you activate the support cards, and then you do an attack. The goal here is to use the attack. You can see that she's applied a grain of soul to additional heroes, so you can see that the board has been filled up with earth gems, and then you go ahead and do the power gem swap by activating Haroun's skill. And if you do this, over time you're going to get basically you're going to really build up this train. And there's a very slow cooldown here, so you can see I just did a hit there. So right after that, the order of things is just do a quick match, and then the battle skill for everything is going to be available. So again, you just kind of rinse and repeat, activate the battle skill for Ophra, and then go ahead and wait for all of the board to fill up, and then activate Haroun here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a couple more. I want to show what it looks like at a little bit higher intensity, so we're going to wait until it gets to at least 200. And then what I'll do is I'm going to stop here, because it does literally take over 10 minutes for me to just do a fight if I wanted to. I can really stretch up the 60 seconds here, and I don't want to do that. I just want to get my intensity up to 200. So I'm going to do one more attack here, so that my intensity will be at over 200. And then look what happens when I apply the Grain of Souls. I'm going to go ahead and activate the skills again. And every time I apply it, you can see these icons that go above. This represents the Grains of Souls. And so now when I attack, I'm going to have 5, basically this is going to be repeated 5 times, where I'm going to get, I think, 15 plus another 6, 21 gems. So you can see my board is pretty much filled up. And then now I'm getting 3 power 4 gems every time I activate Haroun. So I'm going to go ahead and do a match here, and let's see how much damage you can do. And so at this point, I'm dealing about 2.5 billion damage each. And so I'm dealing, 12.5 billion damage just by doing the matches here. And when the intensity goes higher, the more power gems I have, I'm going to just deal more and more damage. Right? And so with this setup, once I get the train going, I can actually deal about 200 billion or so. I'm just going to do one last attack here, and I'm going to quit the match here. So let's go ahead and do this. And then, like I said, remember, just do a quick match, activate Ophra, match again, wait for the board to fill up, and then activate Haroun, and then go and basically just deal tons and tons of damage that way. Right, and let's see, this should deal approximately the same amount, so 2.9 now because I think I had a couple of drops. So let's go ahead and exit out here, and you can see just with that particular attack that was 43 billion. Now, of course, this type of setup really only works in the Eternal Boss setting. And now I'm trying to see if I have any. Unfortunately, I don't actually have any Terror bosses, but what we can do is we can play as if there is no battle skills available. So what I'm going to do is let's go into an Infernal boss here, and we're going to change this out. I'm going to show you how you're supposed to play this deck against a Terror boss. Now, the hardest thing about this boss, Terror boss, is that you can't actually use your battle skill. So you'll see it charge up, and then after it charges up, it just goes away. And so then you're really sort of stuck with no good way to really do a lot of damage. But this is why having the support card here is going to be really effective. So I brought in the Guru Pachyscept in here because he is a passive healer. So if you watch, I'm going to get damage here, and then I'll just kind of slowly get healed by Guru Pachyscept here while I continue to build up more gems. And as I can, what I want to do is I actually want to try to avoid matching all of the gems if I can, because what I want to do is I want to build up more of the power gems if possible, and then if I need to, then I can actually then go ahead and do a power gem swap. So I think I can do that right now. So you can see here, that was a bad one. I misplayed a couple power gems there. So you can see I'm dealing about 280 million each. So that comes out to 900 million right there. I'm playing really slow right now, but you can sort of see what's going on here. Against a Terror boss, it can range from 14 billion to less than a billion in health. And so obviously, it's a guild boss, and so I think if you can deal approximately 2 to 3 billion damage or so, that's really going to help, because you really want to sort of do this as a guild if possible. And you can see that I'm never really losing any health because of the 2 Pachyscept there. They're not going to be the damage dealers for me, but they're sort of they're going to be the ones that will help me keep my health up and deal damage as I can. So there's another 140 damage from each. And so, right there, there's a, let's see how much we dealt there. So right there, 1.3 billion. This is just from playing without using any active battle skills, all right? And so I just got, okay, so let's go ahead and use let's go ahead and do a quick attack here. This is a huge boss, and I don't have enough keys to do, I don't have enough keys to do a 9-key hit, so I'm just gonna have to quit out here because I don't want to take too much time there. But these are some of the really big bosses. Let's take a look here. So if you're an MVP, you're gonna get 13 billion. And now let's explain a little bit on how some of the changes have occurred. I'm sorry, some of the changes are in now for Slayers as well. Good time to talk about here. So you notice that there is a new output here. You can see 15 damage del, 5% damage del. If you hit this threshold, you're going to get additional trophies here. You can see 2.5 billions each for 15% or 5%. And if you just participate, you'll also get 2.5. And then if you rally, get the same as well. So you can really get a ton of points if you can get at least 5% and or 15%. And obviously, if you MVP, you get more. So there's really incentive to deal more damage there. But in this case, where the boss is near a terabyte health, you're looking at 50 billion to get the 5% damage. So that's gonna, that isn't something that everyone can do and understand, but I just sort of the mechanics here. And same thing applies for all of the bosses. Any boss you see, there's the 15%, 5%. The only place where you won't see it would be in your guild boss. So guild bosses don't actually have the concept of additional damage threshold. So you're not gonna have to worry about that. And so let's go ahead and complete my collection here. So I'm gonna collect the shard there. And so that's pretty much the two cards here. Now you notice I actually don't have the ultra rare or the ultra rare. And I'm doing okay, but obviously by having those two cards, I will get my intensity much faster and I'll be able to deal more damage faster because I'll be able to get full board of Power Gem Force much faster. But for my purposes and for the investment I've made, I'm really happy with this right now. Now there are other decks that people are using as well to deal with terror bosses, and that is for example, if you have a Domi deck with Flammo or Bestiarius, that kind of deck can work as well. I'll quickly show you what that looks like, but obviously with a fire deck it's going to be a lot less effective. But basically the way you want to play this deck without using active skills, if you are going up against a terror boss, it would be like this. So you let the gems build up on turn 1, and then the way this deck works really is you just need power gems. You need to leave power gems on the board, and then you want to build up as many as you can, and then do a swap to hope for a big damage there. And so right now what I want to do is play the way I normally would, building up on my board. Try not to lose too many power gems, but if I lose a couple here or there, that's okay. I'm just gonna continue to let it build, and because I have relics, it's also going to give me more fire power gems once I build it up. And so let's see, so there it is. So I think what I'll do is do that. And if I am able to walk away without any matches there, unfortunately I can't, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. That one couldn't match. So let's see how much damage I was able to make there. So with this particular deck, I'm dealing about 250 million damage. I didn't realize I actually put Ray in there. I think I put him in to deal with the poison. But you can see there that would have been about 1.2 billion damage right there, and that was with Domi, right? So Gia is another deck. There's the Dark Slayer that has similar mechanic, as well as the water team with Jellum and Sentry Storm. So these are some of the ideas that I've seen other people use as well when going up against terror bosses. So hopefully that's helpful, but really I wanted to showcase this particular event deck because of the new mechanics. So hopefully this helps you with your gameplay and also helps you with your overall damage. So that's it for this episode. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me give me feedback on this event. What are your thoughts about it? Are you enjoying it? How are you doing overall? So leave a comment below. Let me know, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Thank you. Take care.